Hello, this is CJ, and this is our first Zoom call for the Move Push Men's Group. And our goal, as you may have seen in my intro video, is to help men form new relationships and strengthen those already existing, and then secondarily just become better men. And we can do that through keeping each other accountable. And so that's what I'm hoping the gentleman on today will share a couple things for which they would like to be held accountable, and then we'll go from there. But it's basically chilling and chatting just like you would if you were hanging out with friends at a local eatery or bar. And if nowadays we have to do this online, so be it. I'm not going to resist it anymore. I'm I'll start with myself, my own story on this, and then we'll open it up to the gentlemen who have joined us. I have a couple close friends, but they live in different states. I'm from Arizona, and then I decided a couple years ago to take a digital nomad journey throughout Southeast Asia. So I did that, met a cool girl, and I'm in Thailand now. So um, it's been well, I started in Thailand meeting other expats like myself, but they tend to come and go, so those relationships really weren't lasting. And I think I'm going to try to return to those through this method and try to get those going again because I kind of miss them. And if we struggle to have, male friendships with other men in our own metropolitan area, then this is probably the way to do it. Um, it's ideally men from the same metropolitan area would join this group and then get together face to face and start friendships that way. So that's what I would like to see ideally. But if that can't happen or doesn't happen, I think this format and one-on-one Zoom calls, between the men in the group would be good as well. So that's my number one priority. And then number two, even though I had friends when I was younger, I found either I didn't ask or they didn't volunteer, or whatever, on the accountability part. I think male friends are the best group of people to help you do what you need to do. If you make a statement, this is what I want to do, you should follow through with it. And a lot of people think they can just do that on their own, and some people do, some people don't. But I think having other men to hold you accountable and encourage you is a is a real blessing and makes it far more likely that you're likely to achieve the goal. So that's the other thing I want to do. So for me, I'm in Thailand. I I work on a computer nearly all day. I sit here 10 to 12 hours a day on my computer, doing various tasks. Uh, I've got a remote job where I help people on Zoom calls like this. Another side gig where it's affiliate marketing. So there's some programming involved with that. And then this group too. So and then I also have a channel where I teach people how to day trade cryptocurrency like I do. So I've got a few things going on, juggling a few hoops, but there is something I want to do that's my goal, it's personal, and it's what a lot of people want to do. It's to lose some weight. So I've done a lot of research. I have some time on my hands, so I can watch YouTube videos and read articles and things like that. And one thing I've learned is that the way we live now is not anything like the way our bodies were designed. So, back in the old days, you had to hunt for your food and you were constantly moving, and that's where I got the idea for Move Push, calling this group, because it's good to walk and exercise, go to the gym, that kind of thing. But it's better if in addition to that you have times during the day where you move around and push things, push yourself. And so that's what I've done. I've created these mini workouts. I do about 5 of them a day in addition to my workouts, where I go to the gym or walk around the neighborhood, usually a couple miles in the heat. So those are things I do. But in addition to those, I want to do these mini workouts, 5 a day, usually for about 6 to 10 minutes each. And it's not to the level of the workout I do in the gym. It's just to be moving. Sometimes it's walking, sometimes it's doing some push-ups and sit-ups and squats, things like that. So what I'm looking to do is to have people hold me accountable to do my 5 mini workouts per day, 6 times a week. So I have one day off. I have one day where I take off. Actually, it was yesterday for me, Thursday, which my girl's off. I don't do much on those days except she and I go out and about, and there's my movement, walking at the mall. But anyway, so that's what I'm hoping to do as far as being held accountable, is to focus more on health, and that should send signals to my body that it doesn't need to hold this what's they call it, that internal fat they call, I forgot the name of it, but anyway, my
Visceral
body
fat.
pardon.
Visceral.
Visceral, that's it. The visceral fat should My body should start to release that. And I've had times in my life where I've gotten my weight down considerably, but I still had that punch. That's annoying. So this is a way to hopefully get rid of that. Um, so thanks for that. So that's what what's going on with me. I've got some other things too that are more business related that I might share later, but for now, that seemed like an easy um, thing to share that's been on my mind lately. So with that in mind, how about Oliver? Do you want to tell us a little bit about your situation with friendships and things you're trying to accomplish and accountabilities if you so desire?
Well, it's tough when I've lost two good friends
Mm,
recently. They've passed away.
yeah,
Rough.
that happens.
I'm retired. I'm 71 years old now, so
Mm-hmm.
the trips around the sun are becoming more valuable every year.
Yeah, I hear that.
Um, I try to eat right, try to get
Mm-hmm.
enough sleep. You know, I try to keep my wife. My main goal is to keep her happy. And I mean, seriously, she's the most wonderful woman, and I don't know what I would do without her, and
Mm,
love her dearly. I just never want to disappoint her, and I do a lot, so it bothers me. Yeah, because I screw up.
yeah.
You
Well,
know,
and when you guys tell your story, I might interrupt with a couple of things I want to emphasize that I didn't think of at the beginning. And I like that you mentioned sleep. I think it wasn't that long ago where it was like really macho to not sleep much. Oh man, I only sleep 4 hours a night, man. I'm fine. That's all I need. Which, if you're wired that way, that's fine. But otherwise, sleep is critical for our health and also critical in weight loss. So anyway, go ahead.
well, losing two good friends, and then one moved away
Hmm.
6 hours. So I mean, really, I don't really have a lot of close friends nearby anymore. So I'm like you, CJ. I sit on my computer a lot of the day,
Hmm.
working on algorithms and this newer project I'm working on now, which is this this expanding my mind beyond capabilities that I didn't even think I ever had. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
And
that's really
that,
cool. That is something that we need to do as older men is to have a purpose. And
yeah,
um, I mentioned something in my video about the Blue Zone documentary by Netflix. And if you have Netflix, you should look that up and check it out. It's just 4 episodes. It won't take that long to watch. And one thing they talk about is people having purpose, and that leads to longevity. So yeah, I like that you're
that,
mentioned that you're
that
doing that.
definitely keeps my mind active.
Hmm.
keeps me thinking about developing what I'm trying to build, which is, you know, when I scale this out and really just launch it on the world, is I think it's going to be quite amazing.
Wow,
It's
well, that
going to
sounds
open some
ambitious.
eyes. It's going to open some eyes. I really do believe. And there's going to be some people who are going to like, shit, Oliver, what the hell you been up to? Yeah. You know who I'm talking about.
I do.
At any rate, it's fun. I'm like you. I trade cryptocurrency,
Mhm,
except unlike you, CJ, strictly an auto trader. I don't trade manually.
mhm.
My trading is all algorithmic. It's based on data and rules.
Okay.
That's it. Data and rules. And I've been having a lot of good luck. And I write my own strategies. I don't. I have original strategies. You know that I've shared some with you in the past. And
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to go into too
um,
much detail, but yeah, Oliver's
yeah.
doing some interesting stuff. So,
So now I'm building a relay between TradingView and my exchange.
okay. For people who may not know who will watch this recording, what's TradingView? What's an exchange?
TradingView is it's a company that provides charts, candlestick charts that shows the stock market or oil and gas or gold and silver or cryptocurrency. There's all kinds of charts that you can look at, and then
Okay.
traders like you, CJ, analyze these charts and decide to, okay, I'm going to open a trade or I'm going to, open a position and trade. What I do on TradingView is I write strategies that I can set alerts on the strategy, and it sends a code to my relay, which then takes that code and normalizes it and does some things with it, and then sends it on to the exchange and opens a trade. And this all happens automatically while I sleep, while I'm at
Hmm.
the gym. You know, it's all automatic.
All
So
automatic.
it's pretty cool. I like it.
It's a cool way to
That's
trade. Yeah. I've dabbled with that
yeah,
in
yeah.
myself and with varying levels of success, but I'm hoping Oliver,
Well,
really finds something good.
my current set of charts, I've weeded them down now to about 45 that I'm working with right now, and
Okay.
I have over 90% win rate in entry.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty
Um,
amazing.
and yeah, I think yeah, that's probably enough detail on what you're doing on the
Yeah, so
crypto
here,
trading. So I appreciate you
I'm
sharing
like you,
that.
CJ. When I go to the gym, I try to talk to guys,
Okay.
and I've developed some friendships at the gym.
Okay.
I see guys at the gym, usually they're older guys like me, and we bullshit around. So I like going to the gym and talk to guys that I've met at the gym. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I'm trying to build some new friends is go to
All
the
right.
gym and
That's a good idea.
yeah,
Good idea. Yeah, I
yeah.
don't speak Thai, so I'm sort of the aloof foreigner at my gym.
Hey, have you real quick, have you talked to AJ at all?
Um, yeah, I need to
He's
reach
in
out to him.
Thailand.
I meant to send him one of the messages I sent you, and it's been too long, so that's a good
He's
idea.
in Thailand, right? When he's not in Australia.
No, AJ was in Philippines last, if we're talking about the same person.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll see what I can do to track him down. It'd be cool to have him
He's
on this group. He's pretty
fun.
sharp.
Yeah. He is a real
And
sharp guy.
yeah. And then do you have something that you'd like to improve about yourself that maybe we could help you with, hold you
Yeah.
accountable?
Um, This
And if you
is
don't,
well,
you don't have to share or maybe think
yeah,
about it for a week or two and get back to us. But
yeah, I could think about that. I guess is I sometimes need to just slow down, think about what I'm going to say before I say it. And, because sometimes I say things too quickly and then I regret it. That's something I need to work on.
That's a good goal. And then we need to think of a way to quantify our goals, to make them so they can be measured. And
Well, I know when I
that might be
screwed up.
difficult for that, but I think that's a good idea. But
Mainly, it's when I communicate with people you love the most, and you don't want to hurt them.
right, right.
You say dumb stuff. It's like that didn't come out right.
That's okay. I know what you mean. I've had a few of those moments in my life, yeah, as well. Okay. Well, let's move on to Frank. Frank, you willing to uh, unmute and share with us what how your friendships have gone? You're an older guy too, if I remember right. And if I'm wrong about that, I apologize. And then, but yeah, what's going on with Frank?
Well, I didn't really know what this was all about. I just saw
Oh, I'm ambushing you.
yeah, I just saw the notice in Telegram. Uh, and this is not really a great time. I did happen to be available this day at this time, but
Oh, okay.
I'm not always available at this time on this day. But yeah, I mean, I'm 77, and
Hmm.
I'm dentist, do orthodontics and TMJ, and I do treat sleep apnea.
Hmm.
And
I should talk to you about that.
um, I only work a few days a month now. We're winding it down. I used to. This will sound insane, but at one point, I was in a practice where we had three partners. We owned two offices. We had 20 satellite offices.
Wow.
Hire a bunch of other doctors. I used to see 120 to 150 patients a day.
Wow.
Wow.
How do
Yeah.
you do that? Do you just work
Well,
really long hours or?
no, you talk fast, and
Mm,
your assistant writes everything down. And in orthodontics, they do the majority of the work. So
mm,
you're basically just diagnosing and talking.
okay.
So you can see a patient in 3 minutes or less. So
That's true. I remember my experience with braces back in the 80s, and those were always brief follow-ups. So, yeah.
I'm winding down, phasing out on that. Yeah,
Mhm.
most of my friends, a lot of them are passed away or moved away, retired and moved to some cheaper place than California. And
Mm,
uh, I have been on top of Mount Whitney, Oliver.
okay.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? I'd like to do it again.
I don't know that I can make it again, but
I couldn't either. It's
I've been all over the Sierras. So yeah,
yeah, it's I'd love this the eastern side of the Sierras.
yeah.
No place like it.
I used to backpack at least 100 miles a year, at least.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. And I've been out of, all of the trailheads on the Eastern Sierra from
Wow.
from Whitney to Yosemite and even farther north. I've done Mount Lassen and I've stood on top of Half Dome and
Oh, Half Dome, yeah, it's amazing.
Mm,
uh, yeah,
Yeah, it's quite a hike
that,
to
that
Half Dome. Climbing that ladder. Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's scary as shit,
the cables.
man.
mm,
You know, back when I lived in California, 73 to 89. Yosemite was like heaven on earth. I just love that place.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
Tuolumne Meadows is my favorite place.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Here
I
in
like it.
Saddleback
Yeah.
Lake.
Say it again.
Saddlebag, it's 10,000 feet
Yeah.
just outside the,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I backpacked all over, Desolation Valley by
Yeah,
Tahoe. And anyway,
yeah, it's
seen
beautiful.
seen the biggest, tallest tree in the world, seen the biggest tree in the world, you know. Been all over the deserts, Anza Borrego and Joshua Tree, and camped on the coast, uh, backpacked all over the place. So yeah.
I met my wife on a beach just north of Santa Cruz.
Which one?
Uh, maybe I shouldn't say.
Okay.
It was one of those optional beaches.
Okay.
So there wasn't a lot to the imagination, but yeah. I was on a motorcycle ride and I decided to stop and cool off. Why not stop there?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? You know, it's pretty cool place. About 15 miles north of Santa Cruz on Highway 1.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I met her and I pretty much decided then I was going to marry her.
Mm.
She didn't know it then. I did.
Yeah,
I was
men.
33. I didn't think I'd ever get married, Frank.
Yeah,
I was 33 when I got married.
I think men can function like that. That's the one. And it's usually some character traits I think that pop up. I mean, beauty's obviously one of the main issues, but that would be a cool girl to marry. I remember thinking like that with a couple women I've met in my life. But
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah,
well
I got
this.
married around 28 or 29, I forget. But
Mm,
I went to school a long time.
mm. Yeah, it's true.
A
Yeah.
real long time.
All right.
That,
Well, this is cool. This is what men do. Oliver and Frank have a common experience. They talk about that, and maybe a bond forms, maybe not. But yeah, this is what we're hoping to accomplish with this. So, thanks for sharing about your mountain climbing experience, and Oliver having that picture as your background was helpful.
yeah,
Yeah, that
that's
was
pretty
pretty
amazing.
cool. All
I look
right.
at that picture every day. I look at that picture thinking, "Oh my God, I was actually there."
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. Okay, well, and then Robin's our last attendee, but doesn't I don't think he can really talk to us. So I was thinking about actually I started a Telegram group with yeah the silent one says Robin in the chat. Um, a Telegram group for us, and Frank may be on the fence if he wants to join. Oliver's okay if I add you.
Sure, go ahead.
All right, and Robin, I don't know if I have your Telegram handle. If you have that or can share it some way, email me or something. If you haven't downloaded it yet, that's okay. Robin Mohawk is all right. I will make a note to add that. And anything else anybody want to share? I think with four of us, half an hour seems reasonable.
I just
But
got a
if
question. When are you doing your crypto calls again?
I do, this has taken the spot of my Thursday night call. So I'm not doing that Thursday night call anymore. So it's Monday night, 7 p.m. Pacific. It's all of you in the US. So yeah, that would be the time for my mostly day trading.
I might want to join, but if I do join, I want to join Innuendo. I don't want people to know I'm there.
Well, I'll see you as a participant on my list. I don't think that goes out to just anybody watching, but yeah, you'll have to do something with the software to say you don't show up. So I guess you just turn off your camera. That would be sufficient.
Yeah, it's just I'd like to listen to your methods because my strategies are all based on indicators and
Hmm.
gating, so I can learn watching you and maybe give me more ideas on how to
Okay.
build better strategies.
I'm still using the relative trend index method, which I learned from Frank a couple years ago, and yeah, that's the one I'm using. And then I've got a third-party software called Carbon that manages the trades, makes additional purchases if something goes against me, and that's worked pretty well for the last couple years. So
This carb is still a thing.
it is.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know anymore.
I know. Okay. Well, and then Frank, is there anything, did we talk about if you wanted to change something in your life and be held accountable, or are you still thinking about that?
Well, I would have to think about it. Like I say, I didn't even know you mentioned. Had some introductory video. I don't even know where that is. So
Yeah, I should have added that to the Telegram message I sent you and some of the others. So, yeah, understood. Okay,
yeah, I had no clue
no clue.
what
Yeah, I didn't
what
describe
this
it
was
very well in my message, so that's on me. But
gonna be.
um,
Yeah, it's okay, but yeah.
all right, all right. Well, then I'll end it here. I thank you guys for joining
Nice
me.
talking to
And
you.
pardon?
It's good hearing your voice again.
All right, you too, Oliver. And
Send me a
let's.
invite. Send me a link for the Monday night thing again.
Yes, yes, I will do that. I'm taking a few notes here. And all right, there we go. And I will do that shortly. Okay. Anything else? Well, again, appreciate you guys joining, and I'll have this recording up in a little while, and then we'll do this again next week.
All right.
All right. You guys have a good
All right.
week.
Take
Best
care.
of luck in
Have a
being
good
better
week.
men, and feel free to reach out to each other if you want to talk about something personal or just between you, and then we'll meet again next week.
All right.
All right, bye.